Welcome to the end, friend.
What is up, guys? Kris05 with another card review video here. 19 cards got released since my last video, and like the last time, I will review only the 5 best cards that got released in the past few days, and I will do a quick rating of the rest of them. Notice, I will only pick the 5 best cards from the latest cards you see on this picture, and not from the cards from before. First up is the new neutral epic minion, Voodoo Doll. This is a really interesting card that can be used in all sorts of decks. It is a 1/1 free mana drop, but this death rattle is massive, and many classes can benefit from it, in different ways. Warlock can combo it as soon as turn 3 or 4, if you have the coin so you can Dark Pact it. Hunter can trigger its death rattle effects in many different ways. Even Umbra can start seeing play in classes other than Warlock. Mage also can ping it for an effective single target removal. Versus aggro decks, this guy won't be doing that much, but at least he won't be a dead card in your hand, and you will still be able to benefit from it. My rating for this card will be 4 stars. If the meta shifts to more late game control decks, we will definitely see a lot of voodoo. The Hunter spell Wind Blast is up next. And finally, we see a decent Hunter card. 4 mana deal 4 damage, which can be reduced to 1 mana, is not a bad tool for Hunter. Having minions on the board, which you can use to reduce the cost of this card, will not be too hard, especially if we see more support for Quest Hunter or Midrange Hunter. The thing that bugs me about this card is the fact that Hunter already has a ton of single target removals. I'd say Flanking Shot is better than this card since you put something on the board with it. Kill Command is better since you can Smork with it, and let's face it, face is the place. Eaglehorn Bow is a great single target removal too. What I'm saying is, I'm not really sure Hunter really needed one more single target removal. What he really needs is more reliant card draw. This card could be weird for Spell Hunter too, since you will have to cheat out some minions first, so you reach its full potential. Maybe it will work in a more control-oriented deck. If you notice, Blizzard is trying to push Hunter in that direction, and if we see more cards like this, maybe Control Hunter will emerge in the new meta. I'll give this card 4 stars, but I have my doubts about it. It's not the perfect card Hunter needs, but I can see it being used. Continuing with another Hunter spell, Dire Frenzy. Wow, 2 good Hunter cards in one review, that was not expected. Dire Frenzy is a 4 mana spell again, that gives a beast +3/+3 stats, and it shuffles 3 copies of the beast with the buff in your deck. This definitely sounds strong. Imagine being able to slap a 4/5 or a 5/4 on the board for 1 mana, or even a 4/4 charge boar. This again can be used as support for Quest Hunter, or even the mysterious Control Hunter everyone is fury crafting right now. I think Tol'vir will be friends with this card, but I have my doubts it will be used in Midrange Hunter, and I don't see it being used much in Spell Hunter, since it will fill your deck with beasts, and I don't think you will want that. I see a lot of value here, so I'm gonna give this card a solid 4-star rating. Now let's talk about Rat Trap. Wow, a 3rd good Hunter card. Blizzard, are you feeling okay? This time we have an epic secret. At first, I thought this card isn't as good as most people think, since most of your opponents will play around this secret. But when I give it some more thought, I realized that you won't care that they know it's a Rat Trap. Your opponent will be forced to play less than 3 cards each turn if they don't want to get rat slapped, and that will make them fall behind. Hunter has a lot of ways to punish their opponent with a beast on the board, especially when he's ahead. Imagine a Crackling Razor Maw gives Wind Fury to this bad boy, and suddenly you start humping face for 12. This is definitely something you want to do with Hunter. You could also make it an 8/8 taunt with a Beastmaster, and these are only the tip of the iceberg. My rating for this secret is a solid 4. I think it will fit well in the current Hunter decks, and it will fit in future ones as well. And I'll finish off this list with not 1, but 2 of the 3 Warlock cards. The common Duskbat and the epic Deathweb Spider. I think these 2 beasts will be a good addition to the Zoo archetype, and with the Spider we might see a more mid-range oriented type of Zoo in the near future. With all of these self-harming cards, a little lifesteal won't hurt anyone. Yeah, most of the time Zoo doesn't really care for heal, but if we go mid-game, things will probably change. The bat is pretty good too. Comboing it as soon as turn 3, given you had the coin to play Flame Imp or Cobalt Librarian before it, will be a good tempo swing. Right now, Control and Q-Block are the bomb, but Zoo sees its fair share of play too, and this archetype will survive the meta shift with cards like these. My rating for both of them will be 4 stars. So these were not the 5, but the 6 cards from the last few days that I think are best. Hunter really dominated this time. Now, let's move down to the quick rating segment. I'm giving these cards 3 stars. Some of them might find place in competitive decks, but for now, they're not that special. Swift Messenger has some potential to see play, but I'm not really sure how good this swapping mechanic can be in competitive games. I'd give it 4 stars, but this lack of consistency might be a real problem. Right now, the swap mechanic looks like a meme mechanic to me, so maybe Blizzard could consider making it a choice which form you prefer to play on your turn, but that sounds a bit too OP, I guess. Gilnean Royal Guard will be a great card in Arena, so that is why I'm giving it 3 stars. For Standard, I doubt it will see play. Duelmaster Dorian is a meme card for me. I've heard a lot of people Furycraft around this guy, but he looks far from a consistent card. Splintergraft might not be as bad as most people think. Combos like Stone Tusk Boar or Arcane Tyrant might actually make this card worth including in some control-oriented druid decks, but for now, I'll give it 3 stars. And for these, I'm gonna have to go with 2 stars. I will be surprised if I see any of them in competitive play. Duskfallen Aviana is the new Millhouse, like many people said before. It is way too risky to give your opponent the initiative with an effect like this. Witch Cauldron will be a weird card, but it would be fun to play to say the least. Spectral Cutlass? Who needs this when you have Kingsbane, right? And Toki Time Tinkerer will be an exclusively meme card. It will be fun to watch this card in action, but it will not be in any serious games. So these were the 19 new cards, guys. A lot of fun new cards to put in those meme decks, but a fair number of competitive cards too. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. I'm Kris05 and I'll see you in my next video.